Make sure to head outside and look up tonight. That's because we're in a great position to witness a celestial treat when a supermoon and total lunar eclipse happen at the same time. Not only will our moon appear up to 14% larger in the night sky, it's also going to look red during the eclipse as it reflects all of the sunsets and sunrises happening on Earth. Now, the last time we saw this was 1982. And it won't happen again until 2033, so get a good look now. Someone who's going to get a super good look, joining us now from the Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland, is Jennifer Heldman. And Jennifer, how can we here in Florida get to see this?
Right, well, in Florida, you're very lucky. All you have to do is go outside and look up at the sky. No special equipment is required. Just go up Sunday night. In Florida, a little after 9 p.m. is when the moon will start moving into the Earth's shadow. And as the moon moves into the Earth's shadow, it'll turn that great red color, as you explained. And then it'll be in shadow for about a little over an hour, and then come back out into the brilliant full moon that we're used to seeing. So just go outside and look up. Maybe get away from tall buildings or trees that might block your view. And if you happen to have bad weather on Sunday night, that's okay. You can go to nasa.gov, and we'll be live streaming the entire event, so you can still see it there.
All right, now you have got an even better look using some of the specialized NASA tools so that you can really study this because, like we said, this is kind of a once in a blue moon, if you will, sort of event.
Yes, that's exactly right. So at NASA, we have the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. This is a spacecraft that's been in orbit around the moon, and we're going to be making temperature measurements of the moon during the eclipse. So before the eclipse starts, we'll measure the surface temperature of the moon when it's really, really hot and in that baking in that oven of direct sunlight. And then as the moon moves into the Earth's shadow and gets really, really cold in the shadow, we'll measure the temperatures. And then again, as the moon comes out of shadow and again gets baked by the direct sunlight. So by measuring these big temperature changes, we can learn a lot about the surface of the moon and how the moon works. And then by comparison, also how other moons and planets in our solar system work. So from a science standpoint, we're pretty excited about this event.
And the moon really is a very dynamic orbiting issue as well because while it looks the same to us day in and day out, there's a lot going on over on the moon.
That's right. That's a really good point. And this is one of the things that we've learned from the data from the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter by looking at the moon in detail. We're learning it's changing all the time and it's very dynamic. It's not the same. All the time there are impacts that are happening, basically space rocks that hit the surface of the moon and form new craters like you're seeing there, new holes on the moon. We're learning that there's ice, there's water ice on the moon, especially near the poles, and that water is moving around on the moon. We never knew that before. We always thought the moon was dry and there's no water, but that's not the case. And we're also learning that there were volcanoes much more recently than we ever thought, so the moon had some heat inside of it. So when you look up at the moon, it might look the same from the Earth, but now with this Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter spacecraft, we know that it's changing a lot, and so it's really, really interesting to study.
Of course, back in the 60s, we put a man on the moon, but with this LRO, you're actually getting an even better up-close look at what's going on.
That's right. It's really great because LRO has a whole suite of instruments. We can measure all sorts of different things on the moon. And LRO goes in orbit around the moon, so it's circling the moon. So we can see all different sides of the moon, all different areas of the moon, and get much more global coverage. So we're learning a lot more about how the moon formed, what it's like now, and how it's changing. All
right, Jennifer, thanks very much for joining us. For us who like to look at cool stuff, this is very interesting. But of course, for you scientists, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Thanks again.
Great. Thanks very much.
And of course, if you want to see this, it's going to be iffy with our weather, but you can watch the live stream on nasa.gov from 8 o'clock till 11:30 tonight. It's going to start again around 11 after 8 and then go through the total eclipse just after 10 o'clock. So we're hoping we can see it live. If not, you can always watch it on the Action News app and just tweet your questions there to the folks at NASA as well, and they'll be able to answer things for you, but except they won't be able to answer why it's so cloudy.
Yeah, you know what, but we have a big window there, so hopefully we get some breaks so that we can see it.
Yeah, the clouds are going to kind of be moving by, and we may see some of those breaks in there, which actually may make it even more interesting because you'll get some of that refraction through the clouds as well.
Okay, so when is all this action going to happen for us here today as far as possible rain and things like that?
Looking like the rain's going to head here late this afternoon and into this evening, pretty much like we had yesterday. Right now, a good look from our live camera out on the beach. This is looking out, where's this? Looks like Pier 60 in Clearwater. Nice looking view as we take a look around and see a very wide swath of sand and a lot of availability for you to get out there and enjoy it, but some folks already making their way into that area and seeing that it's going to be a good day early on as we have a swell start. Again, we showed you some of those beautiful sunrise pictures. Afternoon storms are going to be with us, though, once again today, and we are going to be looking for more rain on the way into Monday and especially on Tuesday. Here's the way things are looking right now with our Titan Doppler radar and satellite composite. You can see all this moisture out into the Gulf of Mexico, some of it already making it onshore around Fort Myers, but not yet into the Bay Area. 77 seems to be a popular number in Clearwater and Tampa. We've got 76s up and down I-75, 75 right now in Lakeland and Bartow. St. Petersburg with 80 degrees, one of the warmer readings. And once again, here's how we're watching for a potential development of an area of low pressure down here by the Yucatan. Even if it doesn't form into anything tropical, it's going to push a load of tropical moisture up toward us, and that is what's going to enhance our rain chances both today and into the beginning of the work week. Now, as we go through the day today, by about 4 o'clock, we'll start to see some of those showers from Venice and Sarasota up through Bradenton, maybe spotted around the Keystone area, Odessa, and then we'll see some showers back off into the center of the state. We'll also watch those building inland and again from Citrus County back on down in through Hernando and Pasco, some showers lingering into the evening hours. You can see into the overnight we're going to have a pretty decent cloud deck, so it may be tough to see the supermoon eclipse from here. But of course you can check it out. We'll have a stream up for you live on abcactionnews.com, and of course you can check out that NASA site as well. Boaters, not the best day. Winds will be out of the southeast early, but you can see all that rain out in the Gulf. Seas are going to start to kick up 1 to 2 feet now. They'll be up to 3 to 5 feet later on. Light chop on the bay and inland waterways, but again, with the storms, this is going to be a little bit more treacherous. Low tide happening just about now. High tide at 2:17, and the sun will set at 7:20. Here's a look at Florida's most accurate 7-day forecast. Again, you'll see that 70% chance of rain Monday and Tuesday as all of that moisture makes its way here. We'll be keeping an eye on it and trying to tweak that forecast and tweeting out any new developments on my Twitter site. That's at Bill Logan, WFTS.